Hey guys, welcome back to Vibrations and Libations. I'm James.
I'm Keith.
And tonight we're listening to Stone Temple Pilots, and we're going to be drinking a Three Floyds collaboration with a place called Pizza Port Brewing Company. And the name of the beer is Shredd Session, and it's a Session IPA, which I've never had a Session IPA before. I don't know about Keith, but I'm in for an experience, I guess.
I've always been, it's been recommended to me to always try a Session IPA, and I just never have. People say you don't like IPAs, you should try a Session IPA. So, but I just never have.
I never have either. So we're listening to Stone Temple Pilots' second album.
Right.
And it's called Purple. I especially like the back of the album. I'll flip this around here real quick, but with the
ugliest cake in the world on it.
He says it looks like it's got paprika on it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. But, 12 gracious melodies.
But there's only 11 tracks, James.
Oh, is there only 11 tracks?
There's a hidden track.
A hidden track. It kind of reminds me of some Frank Sinatra kind of crooner stuff going on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I believe it's Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Mathis.
That's who they're going
right.
for there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I believe the guy singing it's a big fan of Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Mathis. Okay, fair enough. All right, so the beer, the Shredd Session IPA, I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And since it's a big boy bottle, me and Keith are going to be sharing this tonight. So, Keith, while I'm opening this up, how about some info on the record?
Alright, as we've already said, the Purple album is Stone Temple Pilots' second album, and it was released on June 7th, 1994 on Atlantic Records. It did debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, and I remember when this album came out, it seemed like none of my friends liked Stone Temple Pilots at all. Like, I can't remember if you were one that didn't like them in the beginning.
I've always liked Stone Temple Pilots.
But a lot of my friends just didn't seem to really care for them. Yeah. Kind of thought they were like a radio-friendly version of Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And, you know, Pearl Jam and Nirvana were radio-friendly.
Yeah, I think
at the time.
I think they're, I would almost say maybe Nirvana and Pearl Jam are a little bit more friendlier than Stone Temple Pilots, especially their first album.
Yeah.
Their first album, Core, was really hard, heavy, kind of
raw.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it grunge, but I mean, although it did come out in that whole same area, you know, that time frame, but it was more, I would say it was more hard rock, more metal, you know, Core was. Now, in the second album here, Purple, they kind of go off a little bit and they show their, you know, variety of music. They show a wider range of musical abilities on this album. Right. Me personally, I think it's their best album.
I would agree with that. It is, in my opinion, their best album. It's the best of both worlds with their exploration and then coming back. And however, I do like several of their other albums, but this will always be my favorite.
Yeah.
Back to some facts. 6 million copies, 6 times platinum.
That's amazing. And
the cover art, which I never knew, but James did. I always thought, Purple, how do people know it's the Purple album other than, I guess, somebody, you know, they said it was the Purple album.
Right.
Well, right here, there's a Japanese symbol, or Chinese symbol, sorry, character Z, which is purple. So there's the name right there, people that didn't know.
Multicultural edition of Vibrations and Libations tonight.
Right. And I never knew that these were fairies, but they're fairies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It kind of blew my mind when I read that those are fairies. They look like fairies to me, but I guess they're Chinese fairies. Track listing.
Okay. What we got?
Got Meat Plow, Vaseline, Loungefly, Interstate Love Song, Still Remains, Pretty Penny, Silver Gun, Big Empty, Unglued, Army Ants, Kitchenware, and Candy Bars.
Yeah.
For the last track.
Interesting names.
Yeah.
For this album.
Very interesting names. And might I say, all 11 of those tracks are super listenable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to put this album on and skip around. You're going to listen to the whole thing.
Right. Like I said earlier, this is my favorite album. When Core first come out, and heard that, saw that on MTV, and heard on the radio. I think Plush was the big single off of that one. And then they did an unplugged version that they had on MTV too, video. I fell in love with Stone Temple Pilots. I thought that they were, they were the next big thing to come out. But the people, I don't really know why there's something to not like about Stone Temple Pilots.
I don't either. A few of my friends seem to come around after Tiny Music in the Vatican gift shop.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't listened to.
It was very, very different album. I went and saw him on that tour, and the friend I'm talking about that didn't really like him until that, I finally forced it on him, and he and I went and saw him, and he fell in love. His statement was that there is no real rock stars of our generation except for this man. He is a true rock star.
He was, yeah.
By rock star, we mean like full-on stage presence. Scott Weiland was just it, man. He had it all. He had those moves like Jagger,
right,
and everything. He was the whole package.
Yeah, and I think kind of starting with this album a little bit, Core was more of a heavy, hard-hitting kind of right-in-your-face kind of music, and they kind of portrayed that a little bit, I think. But then when this album came out and then his other albums come out, they were still hard, they were still heavy, but they kind of softened a little bit as far as maybe their image and their persona on stage, especially Scott with his presence on stage, his performance.
I think they became more heady kind of music, little psychedelic maybe kind of sound there.
Unfortunately, Scott is not with us anymore. His untimely passing. It's just like any other rock star who passes too young. You just always wonder what they had ahead of them. What kind of stuff that they could have put out. He did have a short stint with Slash and Duff and other guys together in Velvet Revolver, which I have that album, and it's awesome. I mean, it's a rocking album, and Scott just lays it all out on that album, vocal-wise. I mean, it's great. So if you've never listened to Velvet Revolver, I'd suggest that you do that as well. If you're a fan of Scott Weiland, that is.
It's good stuff.
It is.
Very good.
It is.
Big Empty was the first track, first single off this, and actually it came out in 1993, and it was debuted on MTV Unplugged. And then it came out on the Crow soundtrack.
Yeah,
and it was playing before this album came out, and to me, I thought it was an amazing track, and was really looking forward to this album when it finally came out. And then I guess Interstate Love Song would have to be their biggest hit off this album, and then followed by Vaseline, Pretty Penny, and also I think the Loungefly was another single.
Yeah, Interstate Love Song kind of a creepy video with the the little guy kind of creeping around. He's got the whole black and white thing that's got going on there at the start of it. That is an awesome song. So what's your favorite song off this track or off this album? Can you pick one?
I can't pick one, but it's tied between three tracks.
All right. So,
Superman with Silver Gun, Army Ants, and Kitchenware and Candy Bars.
Really?
Those are my three favorite. Tied for my three favorite tracks, and I said them in the order they're listed on there. There's no specific order there, but man, every time I think it's Superman with Silver Gun, every time it comes on, I'm like, this is my favorite. And then Army Ants comes on, it's like, oh man, that song, that's my favorite. And then Kitchenware and Candy Bars comes on, and I'm like, God, just blown away with those three tracks. Just side two is the side.
It is
for me.
Yeah, it's a good solid piece of music all by itself. So my favorite track off this album is it's got to be Pretty Penny.
Yeah.
I just like the the slowed down mellow. It fits in perfect, right around all the heavy stuff around it, and it's just kind of like a little break. And I think Scott's voice is great on it. I think the lyrics are great on it.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite song off of the album. So. If you have favorite songs off of this album, please share down in the comments below and let us know what you think about the album.
Right. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah. All right, so take a break from the music for a second. Let's talk about the beer. We've both been kind of sneaking sips in here while Keith's been sharing all the facts on the album. So I don't know if you can tell this or not. I don't know if I have it in close enough, but it's kind of cloudy. I'm thinking it's unfiltered from looking at what's left in the bottom of it. But I'll tell you what I'm thinking about it. Taste-wise, grapefruit.
Grapefruit?
I'm tasting, I don't know if it's got any in it, but it hits my tongue the same way drinking grapefruit does. It kind of, the initial drink is kind of like, it kind of gets you, and then as it goes down, it's not bad. And I'm a fan of grapefruit juice, but I love grapefruit juice, but this is, I would say it's definitely an IPA.
Yeah, it's pretty bitter.
It is bitter, yeah.
It's pretty bitter, but it cleans up all right. It's not the worst IPA or the best IPA.
Right.
I believe Three Floyd's Laser Snake is the best IPA that I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm also a fan of the Three Floyd's Yum Yum that we did a video on. That was pretty good. But Laser Snake is Laser Snake's where it's at. So this beer, the alcohol by volume is 5%. It scores a 3.8 on Beer Advocate. That's one of the lowest kind of scores I've seen on a Three Floyd's on Beer Advocate. From what we can find out, we couldn't find out a whole lot of information on this, but it was only brewed one time, and it's a collaboration with it's with Three Floyd's and a place called Pizza Port Brewing Company, right?
Right.
So Three Floyd's does a lot of collaboration with other places, and so this is one of them. And again, it's a bigger bottle, so you can get probably two good glasses out of this. We got 2 good beer mugs out of it, so you could buy this bottle and share it with a friend, or you can just drink it all on your own if you want to. That's fun. It's not a beer I don't think that I could drink a glass of and then want another one right afterwards.
No, to me, this is a one-off. If you're at a bar, I only want one of these.
Right.
But it's not bad.
The price on this wasn't too terrible. It was $9.99 at the place I got it at. Like I said, it's a bigger bottle, so you got a guy over or a friend over or whatever, and it's like, hey, you want to try this beer? Yeah, sure. You both get a good sized glass out of it. And then you've tried it. But again, I wouldn't want more than one glass of it. That would be plenty enough for me. So, Three Floyd's again, excellent job on the label. We've got like I don't know, would you call that a heavy metal goth guy, emo guy? I don't know what you'd call that necessarily. I don't know.
Kind of like an emo goth.
I don't know.
Zombie surfer.
Yeah, but he's surfing. And lots of colors. So once again, Three Floyd with a label is awesome.
Golf guy, he's colorless.
Yeah, well, yeah, he is colorless. He's black and white. So I don't know. Maybe he is truly a goth head. I don't know.
We love him anyway.
We love him anyway, just because it's Three Floyd's. So I'll go back to this album here. Stone Temple Pilots. I was not fortunate enough to see them when Scott was with him. I know that they've put out maybe 1 or 2 newer albums since he passed. I know there was a lot of turmoil whenever he was alive, with between him and the rest of the band.
I think weren't they back together before he left? They were working on a new album.
I think I read that they were.
That's what was such a damn shame.
Right.
Other than the loss of his life.
Yeah, exactly. But other Stone Temple Pilot albums, Tiny Music, Keith mentioned. My dog is down here. She's joining us tonight. Tiny Music, was another one. Number 4 or 4.
Yeah.
The one with the star on the front of it.
Yeah.
That was a good album. Probably the worst one that I've listened to was Shangri-La-Di-Da. I didn't. It had a couple of good tracks on it. Didn't really care for it a whole lot though.
Really Beatles leaning kind of sound to that album.
Yeah, and I understand bands go off and they decide to try something different, but it didn't. To me, it just didn't click. It didn't.
Hollywood
it didn't
Bitch.
have. Yeah,
like that one.
Yeah, it had some good tracks on it, but I wasn't a fan of it. I listened to it, for maybe a week or so. I couldn't keep listening to it, so it just kind of went in the side bin. But this album, Core, their first album, Purple, their second album, I'm huge fans of those. I have not listened to Tiny Music, which is a shame because it's been out for 20 years or longer?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason for me not to listen to it. So
you're a little behind.
I am a little behind. It's I don't know why I'm reviewing music here if I haven't listened to that album yet. That's kind of bad. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. So the beer, you a fan?
I'll go ahead and rate it. Out of 5 stars,
yeah.
I'll give it a 2.5 right there in the middle.
2.5, man, really close. I was thinking 2, just kind of, I don't know, it's probably my least favorite of all 3 Floyds that I've had. I have to say.
It's probably my least favorite as well, and I just don't think it's I'm not going to remember it. I'm just going to drink it. Maybe that's what Session IPA means.
Maybe.
Maybe it means, it's good for right now, but you're not going to remember it.
Right. I don't know. I don't like the finish on it. It's okay, I guess, but it's just a little bit too bitter for me. And again, this is my first Session IPA, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to have that kind of taste, but me not being a true IPA fan, there's a few that I like, but I'm just not. As I've said before, I'm not a big fan of IPAs, so this is why I'm not a fan of IPAs. This beer right here, the taste of it, the finish of it, and just not for me. So
yeah, my mouth gets more full with every drink. It feels like I'm growing a garden in my mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So do we have anything else to add on this one?
The hidden track.
The hidden track. Yeah, that's right.
We talked about it,
the hidden track.
There's a hidden track. Maybe we'll do it like an outro track or tune whenever we finish this up. When we roll credits.
Sure, we can do that.
With it, but the lounge song was performed by a man called Richard Peterson, a musician that happens to be a big fan of Johnny Mathis.
I always thought it was one of the guys in the band that did it.
No.
I had no clue.
A friend of theirs. I don't have it much more than that about him, but I always dug it. I always thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty groovy little tune there at the end of, especially when you're a teenager and you're wanting to listen to this kind of stuff, back in the 90s, and then all of a sudden there's this kind of groovy, leisure suit kind of lounge music going on, and you're like, what the hell is this all about? Mm-hmm. So that was a nice little surprise. But that song, I think it grew on a lot of people.
Yeah,
it grew on me anyway.
It was supposed to be like a parody on hidden tracks, like kind of spoofing on them. Mm-hmm. But
we should do a video on hidden tracks.
It turned out to be pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah.
And, it got me like listening to that style of music. Like, man, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Probably turned me on to what's his name? It's not unusual.
Tom Jones.
By anyone.
Tom Jones. We got to do a Tom Jones video. We got all kinds of Tom Jones back here on the shelf.
I like Tom Jones, and the guy can sing.
And he can. Yeah. All right. So Stone Temple Pilots Purple, 3 Floyds,
we didn't rate it.
Pizza. Oh, let's rate it. I got so stuck on the beer that
we don't have to rate the album. Everybody knows that we like it.
I'd rate it a 5. Again, it's my personal favorite from Stone Temple Pilots, so it's a great album. It's just that's all I can say about it. It's just great.
It was I'll give it a 5 as well. It was great coming out off the death of Kurt Cobain. Everybody was so down. It was good to have the album to begin the summer with. And I listened to it that whole
I did
summer
too,
non-stop. I don't think it came out of my CD player in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I just non-stop grooving.
It's good. You know, you mentioned it being in your car. It's a great album to listen to just driving, you know. Like you said, the summer, and it's, you know, just put your top down or roll your windows down or whatever and just cruise, you know. And that was back when gas was $1 a gallon. People could afford to do that, you know. But kind of like Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. I think that's a great driving album, you know. You just kick that on in the summertime, sun's coming down, and that's just some back roads driving music right there, you know. Just killer album. We need to do that one too.
I got it.
All kinds of ideas popping up on this video for future videos. So. All right. So the album is great. We both agree on that. The beer, not so much.
Beer, forgettable.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree with that.
Give us another Sessions 3, Floyd.
Yeah. We'll give us something else to try.
We'll try it out.
Yeah.
We won't quit you yet.
All right, so before we go, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you liked the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I remember Twitter this time. So check us out on all of those platforms. And until next time, for Vibrations and Libations, I'm James.
I'm Keith.
And we'll see you later.
All right, bye-bye.
The second album, 12 precious melodies worth